Hi everyone, it's Gillian. Welcome to my channel and another crochet stitch tutorial. For today's tutorial, we will be working on the Tulip handbag or the Tulip Tote. To make the tote, I use Red Hot Super Saver 100% acrylic for all three colors. I also use a 4.5mm crochet hook. Other tools of the trade that you will need is your tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. To make the medium handbag, you're going to chain 41. To begin row 1, you're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and in the next stitch you're going to make a double crochet, and that is a 4th chain from the hook. You're going to make a double crochet into the next stitch. For row 1, you're going to make double crochets into every stitch until you get to the end of your row. Along with the skip chains in the beginning of the round, you should have 39 double crochets, and that's the end of row 1. For row 2, you're going to chain 3 and turn, and this chain 3 counts as a stitch now and throughout the pattern. Into the next stitch, you're going to make a double crochet. You're going to make a double crochet into every stitch until you get to the end of your row. At the end of the row, you're going to make your last double crochet into the turning chain. And that is the end of row 2. For row 3, you're going to switch to the color that you're going to be using for the leaves. You're going to chain 1, and this chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch now and throughout the pattern. You're going to turn your work, and into the first stitch you're going to make a double crochet. Into the next stitch you're going to make a V stitch, and for this pattern the V stitch is a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet into the same stitch. You're going to start your repeat here by skipping 2 stitches, 1, 2, and make a V stitch into the next stitch. You can continue with your repeat, skip 2 stitches and a V stitch into the next. Skip 2, V stitch into the next stitch. Continue with this sequence of stitches, and I will meet you at the end of your row. At the end of your row, you should have 4 stitches left. You're going to skip 2. You're going to make a V stitch into the next stitch. And you're going to make a double crochet into the top of the top of the chain 3. And that is the end of row 3. For row 4, you're going to be adding the color that you're going to be using for the tulip. chain 1 and turn. Into the first stitch, the first double crochet, you're going to make 1 double crochet. Into the chain 1 space, the V stitch, you're going to make a 5 double crochet cluster. You're going to wrap your hook, go into the stitch, you're going to pull 2 loops off the hook, you're going to hold it there, and you're going to do that 4 more times. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. You should have 6 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to wrap your hook and pull through all 6 loops, and you're going to chain 2. Working into the next V stitch, you're going to make a 5 double crochet cluster. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to wrap your hook and pull through all 6 loops and chain 2. And you're going to repeat into the next V stitch. Chain 2. Continue with this sequence of stitches, and I will meet you at the end of the row. At the end of the row, do not chain, make a double crochet into the last stitch. And that is the end of row 4. For row 5, I'm going to be adding color A back. And for this pattern, whenever I can bring the working yarn up the sides, I do. That will make for less ends to sew in at the end. And it's going to be crocheted over, so you're not going to see it. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn. Into the first stitch, you're going to make a double crochet. You're going to make a double crochet into the next stitch, which is off to the side of the flower. Into the chain 2 space, you're going to make a double crochet. And for this row, just look to where I'm putting my hook. You're going to make a double crochet into the top of the flower stitch, the tulip. 1 double crochet off to the sides. And 1 double crochet into the chain 2 space. And this will be a repeat until you get to the end of your row. Continue with this sequence of stitches, and I will meet you at the end of your row. At the end of the row, you're going to make your last double crochet into the final stitch. And that is the end of row 5, and you should have the same amount of stitches that you started with in row 1. For row 6, you're going to chain 1 and turn. You're going to make a double crochet into the first stitch. You're going to make a double crochet into every stitch until you get to the end of the row. And that is the end of row 6. To continue, you're going to repeat rows 3 to 6 5 more times, and we will meet back here. I'm now finished with my row repeat, and I have 26 rows, and I'm now going to make a row of single crochet across the top to make sure that I have a right facing row. Before I do that, I want to share with you that whenever I could pull the yarn up the side, I did, and for the tail ends that I couldn't, I carried it a bit in, and then I sewed it in to fasten it off much better. I find that to be much neater looking versus having to have all these tail ends down the sides and having a bit of a bulkiness when it comes time to stitching both sides together. So I'm going to make a chain 1 here and turn, and I'm just going to single crochet across the top. You're now going to fasten off this first panel, and you're going to make one more panel exactly like this, and when you come back I'm going to show you how to stitch them together. Now that you have both panels completed, we're going to stitch them together. With my second panel, I did not fasten off. You're going to make sure that both panels are facing each other, both panels have wrong side facing each other. And I attach my second panel to the first one with a slip stitch. I'm now going to make 2 single crochets into the space between the first single crochet and the next. I'm going to make 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and this is going to be a stitch repeat. For every stitch you're going to make 2 single crochets, and you're going to do that all the way to the end. So here you have another stitch, and you're going to make 2 single crochets, making sure you grab the panel, the second panel. And I'll show you what the back of it looked like so far. And you're just going to continue repeating 2 single crochets into every stitch, and I will meet you at the corner. When you get to the end of the row, you're going to have 1 stitch left, 1 space, and into that space you're going to make 3 single crochets. You're now going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch at the bottom. You're going to continue working this way at the bottom, and when you get to the other side where you have these two corners here, these two stitches or space, you're going to make 3 single crochet into that space, and working up the sides you're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch as you did the previous side. So continue working that way, and I'll meet you at the top where we're going to start by making the straps. You're going to finish the right side the same way you started the left side by making 2 single crochet into the single crochet row. You're going to attach both panels with a slip stitch. We can now have a look at what we've created so far and see what the back of it looks like. The stitching in the bottom. At this point we're now going to make the straps, and we're not going to fasten off. You're going to make a chain 1, and you're going to single crochet into the first stitch, and that is just only one panel that you're working into, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to make a single crochet into each stitch. You're going to chain 1, and for the third row you're going to make a single crochet spike stitch by working into the first row of single crochet that you created. So you're just going to insert your hook into the first row, you're going to pull up on the loop, and you're going to finish your single crochet stitch, and you're going to repeat. For row 4, you're going to repeat row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to make a single crochet into every stitch. Chain 1 and turn. For row 5, you're going to make a single crochet spike stitch going into one row below, to continue making the straps. You're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until you have 90 rows. Make sure to end with a row 2, and we will meet back here to join the strap to the other side of the handbag. I've now finished making the first strap, and I'm going to attach it to the tote or handbag, and I'm going to be attaching it on the same side that I started the strap. So you want to make sure that the strap is not twisted. And I'm going to turn my work around. I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch from the handbag, and I'm going to put that loop onto my hook from the strap. I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to make a chain 1 and into that same stitch I'm going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to continue making slip stitch into the other stitches. And at the end here, you're going to fasten off and you're going to cut your yarn. And you have your first strap completed, and we're now going to work on the second strap. So you're going to flip our work over. And we're going to do the same thing as we did with the first strap. And I'm going to use a standing single crochet to join. And to make a standing single crochet, you're going to put a slip knot on your hook. And you're going to insert your hook into the stitch, and I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch. And that will be your first single crochet stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to chain 1 and turn and make a single crochet into each stitch. Chain 1 and turn, and you're going to make a single crochet spike stitch just like you did previously. And that's 5 and 6. And you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until you have 90 rows, and we'll meet back here to join the second strap. The second strap is completed, and we're going to attach it the same way we did the first one, making sure that it's not twisted. I'm going to flip the work around. And I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch and put that loop from the strap onto the hook. And I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to chain 1 and into the same stitch and the stitch from the strap I'm going to make a slip stitch. And you're going to slip stitch into the remaining stitches. And you're going to fasten off and cut that yarn. And that is the end of the tote. I'm going to flip it over to the right side. Only thing left for you to do is to sew in your ends and enjoy your tote. Thank you for stopping by. As always, please like and subscribe for more video tutorials, and I'll see you in the next video.